A man pulls out a gun inside the Madison County Courthouse after being sentenced. ABC5 News at 10 is next.
Live from West Des Moines, this is ABC5 News at 10 in high definition.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ron Marasco. Rachel has the day off. A scary day at the Madison County Courthouse today, and it has officials worried about not having any security measures in the building. ABC5's Sabrina Ahmed has the details. It's tonight's top story. Des Moines police made 3 arrests in 5 weekend shootings. Only 1 person was hurt, but it's a trend they don't want to see continue. One of the calls came from 1807 10th Street. A woman told police she ordered her children to the ground after a bullet shattered a window in their home. No one was hurt in the shooting, and police arrested a teenage suspect. Police say they're not sure if the 5 separate shootings are related. If the trend continues, they may start their summer task force a little earlier this year.
This weekend by itself wouldn't start that squad earlier, but it's certainly a consideration, something we look at as cases come in. So if we do see these big increases of more shot strips and things, we may start it early.
Only one of the shootings injured somebody, striking a man in the torso, but he refused to tell police what happened. Today, Governor Branstad addressed allegations made against him by his Democratic opponent. The governor called a news conference today to talk about some of the allegations his opponent made a campaign issue. In your local election news today, Branstad responded to allegations of $280,000 in secret payments made within his administration to get rid of state employees and to keep them quiet. He said this morning the terminated employees were not fired because of their political affiliation. And in response, he signed an executive order to increase accountability and transparency. All settlements will now be posted online.
That's why I did the executive order. I wanted to make it abundantly clear. By my executive order, it's illegal. And if this ever happens again, they're going to be heads rolling.
Keep people quiet. Governor Branstad's opponent in the November election responded right after, calling the executive order inadequate.
That kind of agreement to keep people quiet, hush money for their silence, is just completely unacceptable in this state.
321 employee settlements have been issued since January 2011. 24 contained confidentiality agreements. Despite being dead for the session, lawmakers continue to raise awareness about the benefits of medical marijuana. Senator Joe Balcom invited current and former Iowa residents to the state capitol today. Each shared how marijuana has helped them medically and explained why they left or are considering leaving the state.
You can't control that anxiety, that pressure. As soon as I was listening to Led Zeppelin, Stairway to Heaven in the truck, and I talked myself out. I got out, smoked something. I was okay. You know, I mean, it blew my mind how the anxiety went away, and I started feeling good about myself.
A recent poll shows 81% of Iowans support medical marijuana legalization, but Governor Branstad fears unintended consequences would result if marijuana was legalized. Small business owners, community organizers, and labor organizations are taking their Raise the Minimum Wage message across the state. Raise the Wage Iowa launched today at the state capitol. Over the next few months, they'll organize and educate Iowans across the state.
We want Iowans to know that there is a voice, and there are organizations, there are small business owners, there are faith leaders, there are low-wage workers out there who are organized on this issue, and there is a place for every Iowan at raisethewageiowa.com to take action and to learn more about this issue.
Research shows several $100 million would be injected into Iowa's economy if the minimum wage is raised. A record number of Iowans are behind on their utility bills after a harsh winter. Households have 40% more utility debt than last year. Utilities Board said it's due in part to long stretches of sub-zero weather. It's also caused by the rising costs of propane and natural gas. Some households can take advantage of LIHEAP, the Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program in Iowa. Administrator Bill Brand said anyone struggling to pay their bills should contact their utility provider as well.
We want to make sure that households understand that there are rules and laws that apply that allow them to negotiate a reasonable payment plan that takes into account their family income and other circumstances in the household.
April 1st is the last day of the winter moratorium on utility shutoffs for LIHEAP households. Tomorrow, the Des Moines Parks and Rec Board will discuss a plan to ban fishing along the downtown Riverwalk. Under the plan, fishing would be banned along the Riverwalk, as well as on the Union Pacific and new MLK bridges. Fishing would still be allowed on the 4 downtown bridges. The DNR is not on board with the plan. They'd like to expand fishing opportunities. Prehistoric creatures may be coming back to life in Ames. A Kansas development company proposed a dinosaur attraction, a Menards and hotel combo as part of the Iowa Reinvestment District program. The project would cost more than $48 million, and they're seeking the state's help to fund another $15 million. But the money isn't the only problem in the way.
When you're developing in a floodway, that you do have controls on trying to make sure that you don't cause hazards to other people with movable objects starting to be taken away by the waters.
The state will make a decision over the proposals by the summer. Now, if all goes according to plan, we could see dinosaurs roaming Ames as soon as 2016. Well, Brad is back, and Brad, we're going to see winter, spring, and summer-like temperatures all in the span of a week.
It looks like that could happen. By the time we get to Saturday, Sunday, it's going to be feeling good. We'll tell you all about it coming up.
Next on ABC5 News at 10, several hundred jobs could be in jeopardy after a processing plant goes up in flames. A retired soldier takes up a hobby to cope with the effects of PTSD. And a famous Iowan is about to get a permanent home in the U.S. Capitol. We'll have a report from Washington, D.C. These stories and more when ABC5 News at 10 continues. We haven't seen 50s in a while.
It's been a while, yeah.
Well, you know what? It'd be nice to have the weekends off, but I wouldn't know what that is like. Thanks, Brad. A large fire over the weekend damaged a processing plant and is jeopardizing several hundred jobs. A fire at the Hillshire Brands turkey processing plant in Storm Lake took more than 3 hours for firefighters to get under control Saturday. Part of the plant's roof caved in during the fire. Hillshire Brands has about 600 employees who work at the plant. And in a small town of about 10,000, nearly everyone in Storm Lake knows someone who will be affected by the fire.
They're one of our 3 biggest employers in town, so that would be a really bad thing. So I hope I hope it's not too badly damaged and they get it back open.
The plant will stay closed until Tuesday, but residents worry the damage may be too much for the plant to reopen. A 2-year-old was hurt after razor blades were placed on playground equipment at an East Moline, Illinois park. Police found several razor blades glued to several pieces of equipment. They have no suspects, but they collected the razor blades and other evidence from the scene. The child's mother says the boy will be okay. After 20 years in the service, soldier Todd Landon of Sioux City is battling PTSD, a traumatic brain injury, and many other physical injuries. To help cope, a few years ago, doctors encouraged Landon to pick up a hobby to get him out of the house and keep him mentally active. Flying radio-controlled airplanes is part of his new life now. Maneuvering all kinds of aircrafts like hexacopters and airplanes through the skies helps give Landon the boost he needs, plus a taste of eyes up above.
I wanted to learn how to pilot a plane myself, but with having a traumatic brain injury and being on medications I'm on, I'll never fly an airplane. So I started thinking, well, what can I do, So I started putting little cameras on a plane. And that's kind of, I was like, so I could at least see what it looks like from up there. I've jumped out of helicopters before and things like that. I know what that's like, but I miss it.
Landon survived 13 IED explosions during his 2 tours of duty in Iraq, including one that went right off under his seat as he was riding in a Humvee in 2006. Coming up next, tomorrow, Norman Borlaug's statue is unveiled at the U.S. Capitol, a look back at the work it took to get him to D.C. And local restaurants are honoring Borlaug with a place on their menus. You're watching ABC5 News at 10. We'll be right back.
You're watching ABC5 News at 10.
An Iowan credited with feeding the world is set to get his dues in Washington, D.C. tomorrow. A statue of the late Norman Borlaug will be unveiled in Statuary Hall. Tonight, a gathering of dignitaries from all around the world got together to honor Dr. Borlaug before the big day. A mix of Washington elite and a whole lot of Iowans attended the reception at the National Press Club. Governor Branstad, the statue's sculptor, and a handful of Iowa farmers all expressed their excitement.
The fuss is about him and about what he did, and all these important people that are in this room are part of that, and realize the importance of what this man did for the world. It's just a fantastic thing.
Tonight's reception was put on by the Iowa Farm Bureau, the World Food Prize, and the Iowa Department of Cultural Affairs, all of whom have been working for years to get a Borlaug statue to Washington. ABC5's Abraham Swee has more from our nation's capital. Thank you, Abraham. And local restaurants are helping to honor Borlaug's life as well. We scoped out Fong's Pizza today, where they're offering a Norman Borlaug roll. The manager showed us how to make it.
We just kind of figured cramming in as many veggies as we can would be honorable of Mr. Borlaug.
I had the cheeseburger egg rolls the last time I was here in January, and these are even better than those, and those were good.
Alba in the East Village also served up a special dish based on Borlaug's time working with wheat genes in Mexico. It features bulgur wheat in an avocado dish. Well, Joey is in for Dave tonight, and Joey, it seems like nothing can stop Iowa State.
Yeah.
All right, that would be their first win of the year, right?
Yeah, just their second game, and they'll be back home not this weekend, but the weekend after that, I believe.
Okay. Thank you, Joey. Well, here's a look at what's coming up on Jimmy Kimmel right after the newscast.
Thanks. Here's a quick preview of what we're up to tonight.
All right, break out the shorts and flip-flops this weekend.
I'm going to do it.
All right, thanks, Brad. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you right back here tomorrow. Have a great rest of your night.